Good morning, everybody. I am S. Banerjee, your economics teacher. Today we discuss on sources of human capital formation. There are various sources of human capital formation such as expenditure on education, expenditure on health, on the job training, expenditure on migration, and expenditure on information. Now we discuss regarding the education. Education is one of the most important sources of human capital formation. Proper utility of manpower depends on the system of education, training, and industrial experience of the people. Spending on education by individuals is similar to spending on capital goods by companies with the objective of increasing future profits once a period of time. This increases the income of the people and their standard of living. Now we discuss the importance of education. As all of you are students of school, it means your parent spends on your education because education is important for you. Now the importance of education are as impart quality skills and knowledge. Education endows people with quality skills, thereby enhancing their productivity. Consequently, it enhances the income earning capacity of and opportunities of the people. Number two, develops mental abilities. Education develops mental abilities of people and helps them to make their choice rationally and intellectually. Education churns out good citizens by inculcating values in them. As you know that in our school, lot of activities are doing, and the main objectives of these activities to develop some abilities amongst yourselves. So by the education, we can develop mental abilities of our citizen, and by this way we can ensure that to produce the good citizens for our country. Number third, acceptability of modernization. An educated public of a nation has greater acceptability of modernization and modern techniques. This not only helps the economy to grow but also facilitates a primitive economy to break the shackles of traditions and backwardness. So we know that by the means of education we can understand science and technology. By this way we are in the position to adapt modern techniques, modern outlook, and which is useful for not only for the economic development as well as it is useful for the social upliftment of the nation. Number 4, eradicates skewed income distribution. Education not only increases the income earning capacity but also reduces the skewed distribution of income, thereby forming an egalitarian society. It means when the most of the people are educated, they can earn properly. By this way the income inequality will decreases, so we can fill the gap between the rich and poor by universalization of education. Number 5, raises standard and quality of life. Education enhances the income earning capacity of people and thereby raising the standard of living and improving the quality of life. For better standard of living we require more income, and by education we are in the position to earn more. By this way we can improve our standard of living as well as quality of life. So education is must for better standard of living as well as better quality of life. Number 6, increases the participation rate. It fosters economic development by increasing the participation of people in the process of growth and development. Participation rate means the percentage of people who participate in the economic activity, in the productive activity, etc. So now, due to the rising of the education facilities, the participation of women also increases. By this way, we can utilize more human resource for our development. It is useful to increase our real national income and the GDP, which is useful for our economy as well as our society. So education is must for the increasing the participation rate in the productive activities. Number 7, one solution for other economic problems. The importance of education is not only limited to making people educated but also in facilitating an underdeveloped economy to solve different but interrelated macroeconomic problems like poverty, income inequality, population, investments, underutilization of resources, etc. Underutilization of resource is basically problem of the backward technique. So we require better techniques to utilize our resources, and to develop better techniques education is must. So by this way we can solve the other problems of our economic hurdles. So these are the importance of education. Now we discuss the various indicators of educational achievements in a country. The various indicators are: number 1, adult literacy rate. This rate indicates the percentage of literate adult population who are aged 15 years and above. The word literacy in this context is confined only to the ability to read and write. It provides a measure of the stock of literate persons within the adult population. This rate is expressed in terms of percentage. Higher the percentage of adult literacy rate, higher the educational achievements in the country. This rate is the most important indicator for a country, as it indicates the percentage of the population that can participate in the economic activity of the country. Second, youth literacy rate. This rate indicates the percentage of literate people between the age of 15 and 24 years who can read and write. It denotes the stock of literate population within the youth population. This is an important indicator of educational achievement in a country. This is because the fact that majority of a country population is not able to continue their education till this age. Therefore, higher the youth literacy rate, higher will be the achievement of a country in terms of education. Third indicator is primary education completion rate. This rate indicates the percentage of students completing the last year of primary school. Primary school includes students of the class group 1 to 8 in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Here there are two groups from class 1 to 5, that is known as the lower primary, and the classes 6th, 7th and 8th. This is called the higher primary school, and the age is group is 6 to 14 years of age. It includes basic education in reading, writing and mathematics, along with an elementary understanding of other subjects such as history, geography, natural sciences, art and music. Lower primary education completion rate leads to lower youth literacy rate and hence lower adult literacy rate. So primary education is the basic source for our education. So universalization of primary education is must. That's why nowadays the government introduced the Right to Education Act. Now it is the responsibility of the state to provide free and compulsory education to each and every child belonging to the age group of 6 to 14 years of age. The basic reason behind this act is to provide primary education to each and every child of the country. By this way, we can improve our human capital formation in the future. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, it was launched in 2001 to universalize and improve the quality of elementary education in India through community ownership of elementary education. The Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is being implemented in partnership with states to address the needs of children in the age group of 6 to 14 years of age. But there are some weakness or drawbacks in our education sector, so we can also discuss this also. Number one, high illiteracy. According to 2001 census, the literacy rate is 64.8% only, still far off than the 100% mark. So it is the main problem is that the in India the number of illiterate persons are most among the world. So many people are not literate. So it is a challenge to improve the quality of human resource. So we should also stress on the adult education also to literate these type of people, but it is not very easy to provide education to the adult persons. Number second, gender bias. Education in India is gender biased. The enrollment of girls in both primary and upper primary classes is much below the boys. Due to the backward mindset of some people, particularly in the backward regions and in the rural area, the girls' education is not higher compared to the boys' education. Most of the girls are not going to school, and that's why the literacy rate of a male is better than the literacy rate of the female. So that gender bias is another problem to provide better human capital in the country. Number third, low quality education. The quality of education is fairly low. It is basically based on the rote memory and the examination pattern. Only to passing examination is the objective of education system, and no development of the skills among the youth. So it is a problem that after completion of the engineering and the MBA degrees, many youth are not able to work properly work in the companies. It is the complaint from the corporate sector that the quality of education is not good. So we have to improve this side also. Lack of vocational and technical training. Too much emphasis on general education, neglecting the vocational and technical education. The theoretical education is not very good for our human development, because we need skill development. For this, we have to universalize the vocational education also. It is important for the skill development as well as to generate employment opportunities, because unemployment is another problem. Youth and the educated unemployment is a problem for the Indian economy and Indian society. Low level of government expenditure. Actual level of expenditure is only 3.4% compared to the desired level of 6% of GDP. The desired level of uh, expenditure is 6% of GDP by the government, but in India it is only 3.4%. So it means the government should increase the expenditure on education to ensure the better human capital formation in future. Why there is a need to promote women's education in India? The role of women in the economic and social spheres can't be neglected in order to achieve overall economic development and growth. With the rise in educational levels and modernization, people have realized the importance of female education. The need for female education should be highlighted in India in order to empower women. The following are the important points that advocate in favor of promoting women education. Number one, women education is essential for improving their economic independence and economic feasibility. Second, women education is important in order to raise the social and moral status of women. Third, it plays a significant role in maintaining favorable fertility rate. Number 4, health care of women and children can be enhanced with education imparted to women. Number 5, an educated woman can infuse good moral values and can impart quality education to her children. By this way, we can ensure better human capital formation for the future generations also. Thank you and have a nice day.